Okay, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Now we start this session.
Mhm.
So what I want to describe is what Swamiji has described about sleeping.
Mhm.
But before that, I want to describe what he explained about the spine being horizontal
Mhm.
in the animals, but in humans it's vertical.
Mhm.
So if you lean forward, you can face each other, lean forward, and then put your hands like this. So back is just horizontal.
Okay.
Horizontal, yep. And what Swamiji explains is there's a big difference, a big space between the hands and the floor.
Mhm.
Whereas the legs relatively are
Longer.
longer, the arms are shorter.
Mhm.
So through evolution over thousands,
Mhm.
maybe more, tens of thousands of years, maybe hundreds of thousands of years, relatively the arms have become shorter.
Mhm.
Now you can see some people in some countries where instead of here,
Mhm.
the arms are actually longer,
Uh-huh.
up to the knees.
Mhm.
So if they lean forward, it's much closer
The floor.
to the balance, horizontal. So that's one aspect. Another aspect is if you look at all, or most meaning 99% of animals, they are horizontal.
Mhm.
So as they move, so imagine a horse moving,
Mhm.
walking or running, the spine is going in a curve
Mhm.
motion. So at each point, if you imagine the vertebrae,
Mhm.
they are getting massaged as the horse moves.
Uh-huh.
Similarly for any animal,
Mhm.
including if they don't have a spinal cord, like the worm or some snakes don't have a spinal cord, but they still have the energy body.
Mhm.
What else is there? Swamiji describes 4 worlds.
Mhm.
So one world is above the earth,
Mhm.
where we live. So animals, horses, cows, elephants, etc. Tigers, dogs live on the earth. Under the earth, there's various other animals living, insects, snakes, etc. Then in the water, other animals, fish and whales, dolphins, etc. On top of the water or in the air, the other types of animals. And then the humans are the 5th world.
Mhm.
So all of the previous 4 worlds, above, below, in the air or in the sea, most of the animals are horizontal, moving the spinal cord, getting the right exercise based on gravity. Gravity is not, gravity is positive for them. It's neutral, applying to all of the vertebrae. Then we get to the human world, where the spinal cord is vertical, and gravity is working along the spinal cord. So as we move, gravity is making pressure on the lower back. Not so much on the neck and shoulders, then medium in the middle of the back and more on the lower back. So this will lead to different types of physical problems, difference in walking, maybe affecting the organs as well. So to explain a little bit more, if you go down onto the knees and then put your hands like this, just stay in this position and I'll explain a little bit more. So in this position, if you are looking from the side, you can see your spinal cord is almost horizontal. So this is how much gap there is as we have evolved through time between the legs and the arms. in this position, take 2 or 3 steps forward, all the way to the knees as well. Yeah, walking. So coming forward, and then go backwards about 5 or 6 times, and then come forward 1 or 2 times. So when you're moving like this, you can stop in the middle. You can feel that your spinal cord is moving side to side, and it's flexible. Unlike if the spinal cord is vertical, then you have the pressure, you can't easily move. So in this horizontal position, it's easy to move, and you get the appropriate massage. Then Swami explains a little bit extra. So take the same position, and in your mind, look at each of the organs inside the body. So heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, etc. So each of those will be generating some heat. As it works in the daytime, it will generate some heat. And the heat goes up by nature. So imagine all the organs, the heat is going up, and then the spinal cord from the head to the base gets warm. Yes? So along here to the bottom, your spinal cord is warmed naturally by the heat generated inside the body. That's all understood? All reasonable?
Yeah.
So then come to a sitting position, any sitting position. Now your back is straight, vertical. Now imagine the heat generated by the organs, heart, lungs, etc. is going up, not to the back. So the back becomes cold. Yeah, this is important. But the head becomes hot. So you have the hot head. Not only physically hot, but also a hot head, like you mentioned about what was it, hot head culture or something?
Oh yeah, hot temper.
Hot temper, that's the one. So as people are going through normal life with the back straight, the heat generated internally is not going to the spinal cord to keep it healthy. It's going up to the head. And this causes lots of problems. Not only hot head, but also lots of stress and pressure and so on. So how do we resolve the problem? The solution is the crocodile exercises, lying down. Not the standing ones, not the sitting ones, but the lying down. So front and back, right side and left side. The sitting one is also good for different reasons. Standing one you can do maybe once in a year, just for interest. So when the back is vertical, the heat rises to the head, doesn't heat the spinal cord properly, which leads to various disease, illness, sickness, problems, etc. So to make the correction, not only for one day, not only for maybe a few months, not only for a few years, Swamiji's intention is to make a correction of the whole generation. Not only one country, not only one type of people all over the world. The intention is to make this correction. So thousands of years the human has gone slightly in the wrong way with the spinal cord vertical. So Swamiji wants to bring the humans back to normal, natural living. The solution is the crocodile exercise courses. If you lie down on your front, then head to one side, any side, one arm down. So when you're lying down on the front, the heat from the body will naturally warm the spinal cord, keep that healthy. All the surrounding muscles will also stay healthy. The head relatively will remain cool. You keep a cool head. Try first with both legs straight. And in this position, you can feel that there's a bit of pressure because of the body, mainly the hips and the back. There will be a bit of pressure on the organs. Now bend the right leg, and so the hips will get turned slightly. So there's less pressure on the organs inside the body. And this is Swamiji's recommended sleeping position. So left arm is down, palms facing up. Right hand is near the face, the palm facing downwards. The left ear is on the ground, just relaxed. And the right leg is bent and brought up further, closer to the body. And that's all fine. So this is the sleeping position recommended by Swamiji. And this is the best position for improving health, because the heat generated inside the body rises to make the spinal cord and surrounding muscles and bones warmer. When they're warm, then they stay at the right condition and remain healthy. So these are the secrets of the sleeping position. So you can stay in this position. I'll just describe a bit more about the crocodile exercises. If you imagine between each vertebrae there is a disc, and the disc can get hard with old age and then get damaged, etc. Whereas if we maintain the heat correctly applied to the spinal cord by doing the crocodile exercises, the spine will remain supple, flexible, the right temperature, and remain healthy for a longer period of time. So this is the importance of not only sleeping position but also the spinal cord exercises. When we are doing the twist, head right, hips left, and vice versa, then the disc between the vertebrae gets massaged in a twisting movement. This helps to clean and cleanse that area surrounding the disc. So this makes the back more flexible, and in the long term it will become more flexible, so you can do the exercises more easily. The physical exercises will become easier. And then you may find after maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, you may find that the Hatha Yoga exercises, the difficult ones, become possible. Depends on the person, depends on the dedication and the practice. But maybe after 3, 4 or 5 years, your body will become loose and supple and flexible, such that the Hatha Yoga exercises become relatively easy to practice. So for the sleeping exercise, what Swamiji recommends is before you go to sleep in the evening, it doesn't have to be every day or every night, but maybe 2 or 3 times in the week you can put either ghee or butter or any type of oil that you would use for cooking, so edible oil, put into the nose. Try to warm up the ghee or butter so it goes further in to the nasal passage. If you swallow, it doesn't matter because it's just food anyway. So you shouldn't try to spit out. So if you put the ghee first, then you take this position for sleeping. This is the optimum sleeping position, and with ghee and tea you'll have excellent sleep. Now, one of the main questions people ask is difficulty because of the pillow. So when you want to do this sleeping exercise, you don't need a pillow. So put the pillow to one side of the bed, or off the bed completely, and just take this position for sleeping. And then to give you a comparison, slowly turn over onto your back. So you're sleeping like most people sleep, with the back on the floor and facing upwards. So just slowly turn over and sleep on the back. Is he asleep? He's got to sleep. Are you asleep? No, I mean turn over completely onto your back. I thought perhaps you haven't gone to sleep. You're doing the exercise very well, a sleeping exercise, so go to sleep. So most people sleep like this, where they would need a pillow to support the head. One of the consequences of this, sleeping, if you relax, what you'll realize is the mouth becomes open. So if you relax your mouth, it becomes open, and then when the mouth is open, you start breathing through the mouth. So start breathing through the mouth, and possibly you hear the noise similar to snoring. So sleeping on the back is not good for several reasons. One is because you will start breathing through the mouth. We recommend breathing through the nose as far as possible. Sometimes when you have a cold or flu or other reasons, maybe medical reasons, you have to breathe through the mouth. But most of the time we recommend to breathe through the nose because that's the natural method of breathing. Most of the time. Obviously when you're running or exercising, you need to breathe through the mouth at some point. So lying on the back is not the optimum position. Think also again about the heat in the body. As the organs are working, they'll generate some heat. And in this position, the heat goes just straight up. The back will get cold, the spinal cord will get cold. The heat just goes up through the body and disappears. So all of that heat is wasted effectively. So this is the reason we don't prefer this exercise, because of the heat management, because of the breathing through the mouth, and another reason is also possible stress on the neck. If your pillow is too high or too low, you can imagine the angle of your head will be too much in either case, and that can cause some discomfort initially, and in the long term it might cause some damage. So you need to be aware of the effect of the pillow on your own body. You can use a pillow, we don't say don't use it. What I'm saying is be aware of the height of the pillow and how it's affecting your body, so that you can make any adjustments. So you can reduce the size of the pillow or increase it according to your personal requirements. So 3 main reasons why this position is not so good. The breathing through the mouth, the possible impact on the neck, and also the heat is going up through the body rather than onto the spinal cord. There may also be other reasons regarding arms and legs. So again, turn over onto your side. This time, instead of left, put the right ear on the floor. So all the way onto your stomach, onto your abdomen. So same position as before, but just opposite. So right arm is down near your hips, and left hand is near your face. And the left leg is bent, and bring it further up. So the hips will be tilted a little bit. What this does is provide some space for the organs, so you don't squash the organs too much. And same as before, this position will help the spinal cord more. The spinal cord is the most important structure in the body. So from the head down to the base. If you imagine arms and legs, it's possible to have an accident or damage on arms and legs, but you can still carry on almost normal life. Whereas if you imagine some accidental damage on the spine, or too much wear and tear on the spine, that kind of damage will be much more intense. So the spinal cord is where the energies are distributed through the body, including nervous energy and prana or chi energy. So if you visualize from your head down your spinal cord down to the base, then there are various branches coming off that into the rest of the body, so into the arms, legs and so on, and into the organs. So what Swamiji suggests is, when you go to sleep, take this position first for 5 or 10 minutes. So right side down first. Then once your body has become relaxed, then you turn over onto the left side and go to sleep. So we need to know a little bit more about the theory of right and left. I will explain briefly. So breathing through the right side in yoga is regarded as a warming influence. through the left side is regarded as a cooling influence. So not only physically, not only in terms of temperature, but also in the energy body as well. So when you start sleeping, sleep on the right side, so the right ear is on the floor, and what will happen is naturally the left side will be more open, normally. So the left side will help to cool the body down. So from normal life into sleeping position, this position will help you to cool down the body because the left is more open in this position. So for about 5 or 10 minutes you let the body cool down from the normal daily life, cool down for the night time, and then when you feel ready, when you're almost asleep, then switch the hand positions and the head position. So slowly bring the right arm up, turn the head, bring the left arm down, bend the right leg, and then this position, your right side is more open. So what that does throughout the next 6 hours or however much sleep you need, this provides the warmth throughout the night. So the first step, the first 5 or 10 minutes, we're on the right side, so breathing through the left, which will provide cooling down so you can sleep. And then we turn over, so here one, turn over, so right hand up, left hand down. So in this position, because the right side is open, it will keep the body warm throughout the next few hours while you're asleep. So this is all the reasoning behind the sleeping position and the recommendations, and also do the ghee neti. So we recommend ghee neti in the evening, so that when you wake up in the morning, you will be ready for the rubber neti. So the internal tissues, sinuses, etc. will be prepared in advance, will be lubricated and ready for the neti. And you should find it easier to do neti if you have done ghee neti in the previous evening. So left and right breathing is very important in yoga. Very important to understand the left side is for cooling, right side is for warming. And one of the questions is, how do we open the channels, left and right? So there are various traditional techniques to open either the right channel or the left channel. So one of the techniques is, if you apply pressure on one side, that will help to close that channel and open the other channel. So in your current position, the pressure is on your left side, so the left side will be relatively more closed. So this gives the chance to the right side to become relatively more open, and then you do right side breathing, which helps to keep the body warm. Then also for the longer term, so in terms of a week, there are various recommendations for getting out of your bed on the right side or the left side. So it doesn't mean on the left side of your bed or the right side of your bed, because normally there's a wall on one side anyway, so you can't get out of that side. It's referring to the channels which are open, left and right. So what this means, on certain days, you'd make sure the right side is open and then put your right foot down on the floor first. On other days, you'd make sure your left side is open and put the left foot on the floor first. This is going into the theory of breath, specifically the theory of the two channels of breath, left and right, hot and cold. There's one book which is available which goes into a lot more detail about the left and right and when you should ensure that it's open, what does it mean when they're both open, and lots of similar information, lots of detailed information. So that kind of information you can research later. For today, I suggest that we can move on to the next set of exercises, which are the horsepower exercises. So if you'd like to slowly come to a sitting position, you can go on the side for a few seconds and then come to a sitting position. How do you feel?
Good. Do you sleep in this position?
I sleep on the left side, but not fully down.
But this one was the recommended position by
Swami.
Swami.
Yes. But let me show you. Or you can practice. Bend your arm like this, and then this position is also fine for sleeping. It's not as good because the spine is on the side. You won't get all the heat, and some people may get cramp on the left arm. So that position is fine as well. For me, I find that more comfortable for sleep. I can maintain it, whereas the other one I can't maintain it. So, very nice. So that's that part. If you're more interested in left and right breathing, I can refer you to a book which describes in more detail. The amount of detail I've given you today is sufficient in terms of Swamiji's yoga. Obviously there will be specialists in yoga who specialise in different areas. Like Hatha Yoga, there are specialists. Raja Yoga, there will be specialists. For breathing, there will be specialists. In general, as a general rule, we don't want to be too specialist in any of the yogas. We want the best of each of them.
Okay.
Same as Swamiji has done with the lemon story. So he's just taken what is the most appropriate, what's the most efficient and best from each yoga, and put it into one system, which is easy to learn. So, if you don't have any questions, then we move on to the horsepower exercise. Just a bit of background about horse. Horse is considered very powerful in yoga, not only for running, but also for things like digestion. They can eat the grass, digest it, etc. Also in terms of stamina, they can go for long distances running. So this exercise, why is it called horse exercise? We have to go into the details of the history of the yoga. So, if you imagine thousands of years back, the yoga masters investigated nature. So how does the nature work? How can we be in line with nature, merge with nature, not fighting against nature, be with nature. So obviously they have various animals, they do investigation, analysis, how do certain animals move, what do they do, etc. All of these questions. One of the exercises, maybe not from a, when was it? It may be horse or it may be bull. I can't remember which one. But I was sitting with Swamiji, so he's on my left side, sitting with Swamiji, and he said, look at the bull. I think it was bull. And the bull was going to the toilet. So out, stop, urination. Out, stop, and he said this is one of the main yoga exercises. So from today, he was telling me, I'm just telling you that he was telling me, he said not all days, but maybe 3 or 4 times in the week when you go to urination, do that exercise. So the water goes out, stop, out, stop, out, stop. So
You mean completely stop?
Yeah, there should be no dripping.
아, no dripping. 드리핑이 없대. 딱 멈추고 다시 쏘고. she.
So you let some water come out, then stop completely. Let some water come out, stop completely. It's quite easy for children, young people, etc., because the muscles are still working. As we get older, we're not using those muscles, so it becomes weak and it takes more time to get the muscle. Not to get the muscle, to get them working, because at the moment they're not working. And just my little joke, out, stop, but never in. Why? Why never in? Because that's the very, very advanced exercise, which we can't do. We can do the out continuously. We can do out, stop, that one, that version, but we can't do the in. If we can, there's an exercise either with water or with milk. So you draw all of that in, hold it for 5 or 10 minutes, and then let it go. Either male or female. But that's very, very advanced. We don't touch on that. So that's one exercise. I don't know what to call it. Bull exercise? That's the nearest. There are other animals who do similar. So they're actually exercising the muscles. The nearest equivalent in the general public is called the Kegel exercise. And there's even within Kegel exercises there are different exercises, as well as the back, as well as the front. So, what relation has that to horse exercise? In their investigation of nature, they also looked at the horse. They go to the back of the horse, lift the tail, and they see the horse doing close, open, close, not toilet, the muscle. So Kegel exercise. So close, hold, release. Close, hold, release. So that has become a yoga exercise. And this is Mulband.
Mulband.
So mul means the root. So you imagine a tree, there's the roots, or a plant has the roots. So we have the root here. And we close, that's Mulband. Then open, then close, then open. So that's one of the three. The second, or another one, is Jalandhar Band. Lock that down. So that closes various energy circuits and so on. So that's a second type of band. And then Udyan Band is the third type, where the stomach comes in and up. So that's another type of lock. So Mahaband, the great lock, or it's also called Trey Band. Three band. So Trey is Trey. With an A, but not Treya.
That's where you pronounce Trey.
Yeah, Trey Band, which is the three locks. So we'll start with some practice of horse exercise, horse power exercise. My teacher, Jack, always said this, there are two exercises with the word horse. One is the moving the legs, and then the horse power exercise is this one, with the three band. Yeah. So, you may find, you may hear some other people say band. So in between band, with a clear end, and the normal banda, and there's a halfway band. So just a slight half an A coming out. So, just to let you know in advance,
Right.
so if you hear other people, you're ready. So because you're familiar with the three band, because you're advanced, we'll jump straight into. Normally I would do one, then two, then three, and then all together. We're going straight into the three. So, any seating position, keep your hands like this, open, back straight, and first we breathe out, then breathe in, then lock the chin, then draw the stomach in and up, and then mulband, so close the bottom firmly. And my usual is 5 seconds, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But first, before breathing out, release the mulband, release the Udyan band, and release the Jalandhar band, and then breathe out. Then hold out for 1 second as you then breathe in. Easy?
Okay.
You've done it before? I think. No? You've done it before?
Yep, but
Not this way.
Not the
Not
same?
in detail.
Oh, I'm going into a lot of detail. And especially because it's recorded, I want to keep a record of the instruction. So, next one, just 2 more times practice, so we have 3 of the basic one. This is actually, I call it basic because I'm going to add some more things. But this is the final exercise in terms of books, other teachers, even tradition. Swami introduced 2 more steps. So instead of 3, it's 5. You can have a high 5 horse power exercise. So much better, more improved technique, etc. So breathe out first, then breathe in slowly. Hold the breath, and then first chin lock, then Udyan band, mul band, and then hold the 3 locks. Make sure it doesn't relax in the 5 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then release backwards. So first the bottom, then abdomen, then neck, and then breathe out. Hold out for 1 second because that improves the technique, and then slowly breathe in So we recommend this exercise 3 times in the evening before you go to sleep.
Better sleep.
Which one?
For better sleep, better sleep.
Oh, much better sleep. Yes. So Gineti, then do this, then right side first, then move over to left side, go to sleep, and you'll be very happy in the morning when you wake up because of very deep sleep. You recover lots of energy.
Band, the purpose of band is to gather energy or lock the energy circuit?
Lock it, yeah. The word band means lock. So it's not referring to a physical lock. So there is the physical lock, 1, 2, 3, but it's more for the energy circuit. So there are certain circuits through the body. We want to close them while we're doing the exercise, and that causes a certain. This has been researched by, medical people. You can find the research later, but basically, good things happen. In summary, instead of reading the full paper, you can assume that good things will happen for your physical body and for the energy body, because of the lock and the holding. Remember, what is it called? Kumbhak. Kumbhaka. Kumbhak. This is very important in yoga. Whether we're holding in or whether we're holding out, the kumbhak is secret. I don't say secret too much, but kumbhak definitely is one of the big secrets. In combination with the twisting, that's one of the secrets. So, third one, breathe out. Then slowly breathe in, hold the breath, and then lock the chin, lock the abdomen, lock the bottom. Hold for 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then lift the head, or rather backwards. Release the bottom first, then stomach, then neck, and then breathe out. As full breath as possible, breathe out, hold for 1 second, and breathe in. So sometimes I miss out some parts, but because you know the parts already, just do the parts. So to a certain extent, you don't have to follow exactly what I'm saying. You can add the bits which I've said before to make it complete. Sometimes I forget, or sometimes I'm in a hurry, so I don't say everything. Or sometimes I know that you're capable to do all the bits even though I don't say it. So I do actually give a lot of instruction on a continuous basis, but in theory I should be able to give you less information and you should remember all the details and just apply the details. But I try to help on a continuous basis, so it's better for you and you get the benefits, and also you'll remember when you practice at home, because I've said it so many times it becomes absorbed. So that's 3 times of horsepower, classical version. Now we add some improvements. The first improvement, we're doing the 3 locks. We add 1 more lock. After that we add 1 more lock, and possibly 1 more lock.
6 locks.
Possibly 1 more.
7 locks. Bakjango.
So at the end of this course, you will actually have much more information than I would say most yoga teachers. Most of them don't know a lot of these details. They didn't have Swamiji as a teacher. They are mostly following books, videos, etc. to learn. I'm giving you information directly from Swamiji. hopefully with not too much change, either in terms of the language from Hindi or Punjabi or in English combination to me, and then I think about it and I give you the instruction. I try to be I give the information as useful as possible and easy as possible so you can practice later and get the benefit. So for each of the next ones, we won't do 3 of them, only 1 of them. So add 1 more lock, then the next one add 1 more lock, and then so on. So the first lock is eyes, because if you look at some of the videos, they're doing chin lock, stomach lock, bottom lock, but they're not doing eyes lock.
Okay.
They're still open. So there's another lock. So breathe out, then breathe in. The first lock is eyes. So eye lock, then chin lock, then abdomen lock, and bottom lock. And hold for 5 seconds. And then lift the head, or rather go backwards. So bottom unlock, stomach, abdomen unlock, chin unlock, then open the eyes, and then breathe out. So this, what I'm showing you is advanced, masterclass level. It would be difficult to find someone who can explain all of this. So next step is, you can guess.
Alright. Fist lock.
Hand lock.
Hand lock.
Hand lock. Obvious is mouth lock as well. So when you're doing the eyes, we also do the mouth lock. I'm not sure you can do this, or you can do this. Nose, mouth, ears, everything. But basically the whole head locked, and we just symbolize it with the eyes and mouth. So nose will be, because the breath is held. Ears will maybe not so much, because you're still listening to me. When you practice yourself, then you can just imagine you're closing off from the world. So this is part of the withdrawing as well. You know the 8 limbs of yoga?
Yes, Ashtanga.
So one of them is withdrawing from the world. And this sequence can be used to help you practice that. So one aspect of withdrawing is to stop the seeing, stop the hearing, stop the smelling. There's no touch,